Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another free pre-market broadcast presented to you by the team at Investors Underground. Obviously, absolutely tons to go through. And just for those of you who are new, this is the exact same process we go through every single morning in the room. And wherever you're watching this, X, YouTube, wherever, hit that like button, that subscribe button, whatever button it is, just smash it. Great. All right, just before we get stuck in, this video is for information and education purposes only. These are not buy or sell recommendations. All right, cool. We've had a couple tech issues this morning, but up first, Ariel, take it away.
Sam, good morning. Good morning, Sam. Okay, so we will get it started here quickly. I believe, when I'm just going through my scans, the nicest setups are still kind of in this gold and silver space. Right, you've had this really nice extended run in gold, but effectively over the last 2+ months, all you've been doing on gold is digesting. In the meantime, you've got really nice looking setups in a KGC, which has effectively been going sideways as well for the past few weeks, effectively for the last month and change, almost 2 months plus actually. So this, like coincidentally enough, it's like sometimes you got to remember you get these moves up. You get long digestion, and then you get continuation, and it's the same thing in a WPM. It's the same thing in an AEM. It's the same thing in NEM, GFI, AU, AG. When you get this many setups in the same group that are all looking really strong effectively without the underlying asset really breaking down, it can usually be a tell that they are trying to indeed go higher. Now, is this the last move for gold before it's blow off? It's possible that, we run to 3,800 or 3,700 and then it's done because of how already long this bullish trend has taken place for gold and silver. But again, I don't really want to argue with the group when the group is acting that well. And from the swing perspective, that's kind of the space which all seems set up to go at the moment. And there is a bunch of clean, digestions. And, we just have to look at something like A-Lab over the last, few weeks, right, where it just chops around, it makes its move up, it goes sideways, chops everybody to bits. And then once it finally breaks out, you should be expecting that pickup in volume and a really nice move out. Now, again, this is a semi-name, but this is you scratch off the name and this looks a whole lot like a WPM where you're just like, okay, it chops around, pisses everybody off. And then, you kind of look at the underlying this morning and gold is indeed taking out yesterday's highs, not by much, but could it be ready to finally go higher? I think it's possible. And if that's the case, and that's really where I want to have, some of my attention to see if I can get myself into 2 or 3 names, WPM, KGC, and AEM being my 3 favorite. And these things look great. You've got like this really nice clean consolidation. You've got a tight 50 simple moving average. You know exactly where your risk is. And, that's kind of that's all we could ask for as swing traders. So, and then on the flip side of the market, is there going to be some continuation on the downside? Obviously, we had a really nice unwind in QS yesterday, and then a nice little gap down and follow through overnight. I unfortunately did not keep any. Joby, I did keep some. And again, as well a little gap up. Some of these names that have made these massive moves, whether it be ASTS or Rocket Lab, they're all kind of gapping down right now. And then Roblox being the other one that I've got some attention on that has just been utterly insane with really no digestion at all. So that is one that I will be watching as well for a possible pull today on the short side. Otherwise, that's kind of it for me, keeping it kind of short and sweet. Few longs, few shorts, and that's it.
All right. Morning, everyone. So I'm going to watch Open today, already pretty resilient, and it's not giving up. I was expecting to see more weakness under VWAP from yesterday's action, but as we can see, it's still grinding, and I can see this one based on the volume, yesterday's volume, and a lot of hype around it, to see popping up again. So I'm going to trade only any swipe or parabolic move towards, 450-ish, or pretty much, any push against this level. Looking for a stuff here. I'm going to give a shot here, risking more or less yesterday highs. So ideally, it's going to push their stuff, and then if it's going to give any sign of weakness, I'm going to be interested in piling in more and then recycling in pops. AIRE, another name I'm watching similar to this one. I'm going to give a little bit of room. They had, snapped after hour. Ideally, it's going to give a push through 60 cents and stuff. I'm not going to be in a hurry to be the first in here. Like I said, ideally, it's going to push there, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it pushing towards 80 cents. That would be even better. So most likely, I'm going to dabble some, and if it's going to, stuff there, then add more. But keep in mind that if it's just going to push, then that would be an even better level to take a stab. So looking for a quick move and then see if it's going to stuff there in order to get some. Also looking at IVF. IVF gave up already, but any pops at this stage against 450, 5-ish area, I'm going to be interested. Then also looking at HTOO, which it's still pretty resilient, not in a hurry here. Would really like to see how it's going to behave after the open, but the range is pretty nasty. So don't want to be trapped in something that it's squeezing, and I'm going to wait more or less like, in case we are going to have a similar situation like open yesterday, where it's just grinding and grinding and grinding, then maybe I'm going to give a shot if at some stage it's going to break some lows, and then I'm going to take that as potential backside. But other than that, just keep it on radar and see if we manage to stuff at any given stage. DFLI, same thing here. This is a cheap name, and I can say that I'm very excited about this range, but if we'll push towards 50 cents, maybe into mid-morning, 10:30ish, and then it's going to stuff there, definitely I'm going to be interested. Now, also looking at MP. MP, it's a pretty extended name, and yesterday sort of rejected. 2 days ago was looking like a nice breakout, but given the fact that this one, it's pretty extended, I wasn't very excited about this breakout. So I had no position yesterday in this rejection, but definitely I'm going to watch it today. Any push towards 61.50-ish, I'm going to be interested in taking some. Also looking at QS and Joby, already faded more than I would like to, but I'm just going to wait, see, maybe it's going to, go sideways, and then it's going to lose momentum and slide even lower after, 10:30 or late in the morning. But other than that, not really interested to join for more fade unless it's going to give some pops or going sideways and then showing some sign of weakness. So keeping those on radar. And the last one, it's Toast. Toast has a interesting looking chart here that been pretty choppy and now breaking out. Yesterday had a nice volume, but not really followed through. Still like the fact that it's gapping up this morning. So any build up and as long as it's not going to keep, it's not going to get under yesterday's lows, I like it for long. So any build up and opening range break, I'm going to be interested in getting some there. So yeah, pretty much that's what I have for today. Passing it over to Dawson.
Hey guys, good morning. What's going on? Another watch list here for July 22nd. Start off here with a few quiet ideas, and they're just some main watches. TDTH was a XRP Treasury news back over here that never really got going. Took a couple weeks, and now some nice trends starting to build. Ideally, we get some speed up, some volume starting to come in. but this is a classic daily extension, history of big first red days when it finally comes in. So nothing I want to fight on the front side, but if we can start to get some parabolic and sped up action, then I'd like to look for a possible failed follow through setup on that one. It doesn't have to happen today, but in the coming days. LCFY, big overhead resistance recently, a couple weeks ago. Had a chat room on it yesterday that kind of front ran the move. Right over here, you can see the little volume came in. I was looking for parabolics up into the 9 level, which was the closing VWAP of that initial big volume day. Did happen here if anyone was around for those 4 a.m. moves, but any straight up spikes towards those levels, I'm interested for the fade back. It is when they get a bit too retail crowded and top heavy, then the fades are usually quite a bit cleaner. So I'll keep that one on watch for any parabolics, but if this just stays at lows, then I'll just take it off radar. BMNR, tough to see on the daily, but a bit easier to see on the intradaily, where you get that big front side move, hard crack, lower highs, and starts to wedge and tighten right on its lows. And if you look at something like a multi-day intraday chart, you can see this higher low trend starting to give up here, consolidated below it yesterday into close. So clear outs into this 40-41 area. For a sit back, measure potential is to the next moving average around like 34-ish, and beyond that, kind of having an imagination. But interested in pops that fail, similar to stuff like MLGO and RGC and all those kinds of names. Once the backside is in and you get those volume pockets, it's like a liquidity hunt into highs, and then they start to sit back and you get those quiet faders. No one's watching it anymore. QS and Jobby, I was interested in some more follow through to the downside, given the first daily bar to make a new low. But now that we're gapping down a bit too much, nothing I'm going to chase on the short side. The next opportunity for me to watch would be some sort of capitulation long. Nice panic on QS yesterday. If that would happen again today and get a straight down morning panic, that would be something I'd react to as it gets more extended on the backside. And then IXHL, worthy mention. This one's following in the footsteps of BTOG. You can see big run here a couple months back, multi-day run, breakout, gap up, failed follow through, and then BTOG, same kind of thing, couple months back, big volume, multi-day run, breakout, gap up, failed follow through. BTOG would be like in a few days if it could build and break back through 1. I'd be interested in that one for a secondary leg. But keeping an eye on IXHL because it seems to be following in the footsteps of that one. And then Open, this one's the main watch, trading basically 2 billion shares yesterday, up from 70 cents up to $5. Currently participating in it here in pre-market, but we had a big parabolic blow-off move in that A+ range. If this were to be closing at 5 and gapping up again today, with the hard crack into close, does give a bit of muted action, but interested in pops towards prior day's resistance. It hasn't gone red in this entire run-up for the last 6 days, today being the 7th. So if this does go red, I think that's a trigger for a possible swing idea. It is super retail crowded. Kind of reminds me when names like Shot and Wish and all those names ran a few years ago. If you do some review and some chart research, going back to even stuff like Nikola or Safety Shot back in 23. Let me go back here. Like right over here, you get those big parabolics and the retail crowded names. So if you go back and look at those charts, that's kind of how I'm looking for Open to play out. But I will look for pops into prior day's resistance, and once it confirms red, then look to really scale into that winner. And yeah, that's what I got, Sam, if you want to close it out.
Magic, fantastic, gents. Thank you so much again. As always, lots of varieties. It's like the same as that's the idea of this, just to put a load out on watch, and then obviously whatever resonates with you, focus on that and trade it well. So I hope you're trading well today, guys. Have a great day, everyone.